Good morning. Welcome to Pecan Corner. I thought today I'd take a little walk around, just around my little yard, and just point out some of the wild edibles that grow here. This is focused right now on my old native pecan tree. I have 3 big mature pecan trees in the yard, and this one is a native. It has small pecans that that are hard to crack, and they're very tasty. They have a really high oil content. They're really, really wonderful, very productive. Now then, let me show you some of those pecans because they're starting to fall off the tree. So this is our first big edible, is the pecans. This particular tree will provide about 100 pounds of pecans or more in a good year. I also have 2 others. I think probably between them they would probably produce enough fats to help us eat for a year if we had to. So, and as you can see, they're all over. We had a rain the other day, and they are and so the pecans are starting to drop now. Each of these trees drops at a different time. This one starts, and my other 2 trees will come in later. All right, now let me pause for a second. Next is my little chili pecans, my little bush with these. I'm trying to see here. There we go. All right, learning how to focus here. The little red ones are edible, but the green ones are edible too. Let me put them into some focus. You see those? These are wonderful flavoring. You can use them dried or pickled in vinegar. They're very hot. They're very tasty if you like hot peppers. This is a perennial plant in most of the southern parts of Texas. This is a little bit high for the range, but as you can see, it kind of came up close to the foundation, so its roots have got some protection against some of the cold that we have. Nearby, I want to pick and show you up close. Okay, I want to show you see how those leaves look. I'm going to show you something. Nearby is a black nightshade. You can see, if you look at Meriwether's site, he will show you how to tell the difference. See how the flower bends back and the petals curl back. That's how you can identify it. It looks like the bigger nightshades. This one has got black. When their seeds are ripe, when the little berries are ripe, they're black. But before they ripen, they are green. Don't eat them when they're green. Meriwether says they're edible when they're ripe and fully black. I don't eat them, but I do let them grow here for the birds. Like is that the leaves of these, the plant itself, it looks almost identical to the chili pecans. So you almost have to wait until they're ripe, or you have to look closely at the flowers to be certain that you're identifying things correctly, so that you're not going to pick these poisonous green berries thinking you're getting green chili pecans when they're not. Not wild, but I am so excited. Several years ago I planted saffron crocuses, and the rain has really beat these up, but here's one that I haven't harvested yet. The red stamens there are 3 of them in each plant. Those are the ones that I harvest. That is pure culinary saffron. So I think I have enough this year that in a couple of weeks I'm going to make some saffron buns for St. Lucy's Day. So that'll be kind of fun to make some traditional saffron buns and be able to use my real homegrown saffron in it. These are a fall blooming crocus, and otherwise they just look like a regular purple crocus. But they're great. I've got them in a spot here where they can just stay. They die back after they've bloomed. Eventually over the winter the leaves will die back. See, they just have a kind of a grass looking leaf, so they don't get in the way of anything else. and they have started to multiply now finally after several years. So pretty excited to have that spice in my own. Here we have wild horehound. This is the official herb horehound, and it can be used to make cough drops with. It's also used to make a tea for various medical uses, including upset stomach, according to in some cultures. You can see it's got kind of get up close. See the where the flower stalks have produced seed, and this is a perennial plant. This bush grows year-round. It'll die back when the snow gets on it, but those branches will come back out in the spring. This is a hackberry tree. It is a little too young to be having berries on it. It's on a border between my neighbor's yard and mine. But see, it's pretty easy to identify. They say that the berries off of these are edible. I prefer to leave them for the birds because they're kind of hard to deal with, but I haven't ever ground them up. I've been reading recently that you can grind them and eat the whole thing. Otherwise, it just tastes like a piece of apple skin over a BB because they're too hard to chew. You can't chew them at all. So maybe I'll try gathering some and grinding them. I planted this asparagus, so it's not wild, but you may find wild patches of it growing in different parts of the country, or where it's been left from an old homestead from someone else. So if you find asparagus ferns growing, be sure and check on it early in the spring when you can gather you some. I've got a very old apricot tree that is on its last legs. I have tied markers around the branches that are dead or dying, so that when my grandson comes to visit on Christmas break, he'll be able to identify which branches need to be cut easily. It's a shame, but it's very old, and it's time for it to move on. I'm hoping that maybe if we trim these dead branches off of it, that some new growth will sprout out, and it'll be healthier. This is a wild mulberry. It is also, it's not fruiting yet, but I'm sure that it will eventually. It has come up here, and I kept trying to kill it off, and I finally decided to just let it grow. The birds will be happy, and I can make some mulberry jelly or mulberry jam out of it. Mulberries are great, easy food to eat. We ate them all the time as children. We used to have them in our yards in Oklahoma all the time. So they're a very tasty berry. Wild amaranth, pigweed, careless weeds. They say the seeds are very healthy. They have a lot of protein in them. So this time of year is when you'd be gathering that. I let them go in my garden this year, and I think they really help protect my plants from some of the predations of the grasshoppers, because they ate on these careless weeds instead. Careless weed that's still got some leaves on it. The young leaves, they say, can be eaten. This is I don't know how it's pronounced. Eleagnus. If you know how it's pronounced, please let me know. It is used as a landscaping plant all over West Texas, and it blooms in the fall and winter. Let me see if I can get down here and show you some blooms. There's the blooms. I did not know that the berries are edible, but they will ripen a little bit later this year. Let's see if you can see the white flowers. Let me point them out here real quick. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Here's some. That the berries, Meriwether says that the berries are edible and are very tasty. So I'm pretty excited. I have killed off all but this one bush because I don't like pruning them. As you can see, this one's unkempt this year. I have not had time to work on my yard at all, so it hasn't been pruned. So this year I guess I'll come out and gather the berries in the wintertime, and we'll try them. I put out an arbor several years ago, and I planted some morning glories on it, and of course they don't come back. But I was delighted that the next year this wild grapevine came up right on my arbor. So I have these wonderful grape leaves, and I use these in all my pickles. I put a grape leaf or two in all of my pickles. You can also gather these and freeze them or pickle them and save them to use for stuffed grape leaves. See, these over here are still new growth, so these are still tender and I could pick these and use them to make stuffed grape leaves with, just like the commercial ones. This particular plant has never fruited yet. It blooms every year, but it doesn't make fruit. So I think I need a maybe a male plant or another one to fertilize it. I can also use these vines when I cut them, and I can make my own artist charcoal with it. I think I'm going to try some of that this winter, and I'll do a video on it when I do. Neglected patio. There's a lot of things that have come up. This is of course purslane, which is edible, completely raw. But these nice big stems this time of year, I might try pickling them, especially these larger ones. But the leaves are great. They're just a mild, tasty green. Very good. I hope you can see that. Right next to them